welcome to Bubbling 247. This is another episode of Bubbling 247, and today I'll be having conversation with the founder of Tales of Africa. This is a platform that has been dispelling the wrong narrative about Africa. So the founder, Richmond Setrana, uh, he has built this platform for years, and he has been able to sustain it. It's a lot of job. It's not easy. So today we're having deeper conversation about how he has been able to sustain it and some of the impact of his work. And also, funding is very important. Has been able to generate fund because it's one of the conversations that is so important. It's so important. So, boss, you're the boss in this sector. You are a boss. You are a senior colleague, and I give it to you.
Damilola, don't
How are
flatter
you
me.
doing
Don't
today?
flatter me. I'm doing well by
How
God's
are you
grace.
doing today?
I'm fine.
It's
How
good
are
to
you?
have you on Bubbly 247.
Oh, it's an
I'm
honor
doing
to be here and a privilege to be on your
good.
honorable platform.
Thank you, boss.
Yeah.
You've done quite a lot of job. You've done.
Um,
I mean, you have a bigger platform like that running for years. You have. I looked at your Facebook. I can't imagine. Wow, over 300,000 followers.
yeah.
The Facebook page, yeah. And
Yes.
then I
Yes.
looked at the podcast, the caliber of people that you've sat with, and curated the conversation. It's just mind blowing. But what gave birth to this platform?
All right. So I think this was in October 2018, right? So I I consider myself like a media guy, a journalist, that kind of thing. So I normally like to consume a lot of content on social media. But I realized that when I look at most of the platforms out there, most of the content that they generate or they make about Africa are things of maybe poverty, conflict, strife, things that don't really speak well of the African continent or the people of Africa. But I analyze it and I realize that, no, actually, Africa is much more than that. I'm not saying they're lying, but Africa is just much more than the negative stereotypes that are coming from the continent. Because the things that we put out there, it also shape the perception of those in the Western world about Africa. So it's what they read and what they see in the media. That is what is going to shape their perspective of Africa, about Africans. So I analyzed this and I said, no, I'm a young African myself, and I know people around me who are doing extraordinary and amazing things, and nobody is telling those stories. So I decided to start my own platform. That's why I called it Tales of Africa, which is like Stories of Africa, where I tell the stories of young Africans who are doing amazing things, which normally will not be featured in mainstream media. So that was the whole idea about Tales of Africa,
Yeah.
and that's how I started in October 2018
October 2018 until today. Wow,
until
that's
today. Yes,
I kind of imagine your creative process, because to
that's like maybe
curate
7 years or so. Yeah,
yes, to curate stories for that platform, it will be a lot of work. Like, what kind of
yeah.
stories do you find? Do you think that, okay, this story we can have this story of this platform? What's your creative process like? Curating story for the platform.
Okay, so my whole idea is fishing out people who have something like they are doing things that need exposure and nobody's giving them that kind of exposure, right? So I kind of go in there, fish out these kind of people, and then I feature them maybe on my podcast or my website or my Facebook page, and then I tell their stories like, hey, this young guy is doing extraordinary and amazing things, but nobody's talking about him. So everybody pay attention to this guy. So initially the idea is not to highlight people who are already in the mainstream or in the limelight per se, but those that are not in the limelight that I think should be pushed to the limelight. Because even when I started, initially I tried to also get people in the limelight, but they were not paying attention to me. So I decided to focus on those that are not in the limelight. Now like it was easier because they are doing wonderful things and they are also looking for that exposure.
Yeah,
So I decided to fish out
yeah.
those kind of people and be consistent in that, and that has brought me some level of success. Yeah,
You know that our platform are kind of aligned because
I see.
also our platform now it's also to spotlight innovators,
Yeah,
builders who are building stuff, but they are not in the
yeah,
limelight. A lot of people don't know
exactly.
them, and
Yeah,
also yes, and also there are some of these people who maybe, for example, you have someone that has built. For example, in the our third episode, I had a conversation with this innovator, a very young innovator that has built an assistive technology, for the blind
okay.
students in Malawi, right?
Wow.
His
Yeah,
project is just in is in the first phase. It's just deployed to two schools,
okay.
and for such person, amazing, amazing innovation, right? Uh,
Wow.
the impact so far has been it's been felt. There have been great feedback. Such person needs a better platform, right? a bigger
Yeah,
platform to
exactly.
tell his story, such that that
Exactly.
story can get to the to the site of investors who
That's
would
true.
want to
That's true.
partner with it or push money into it, and
That's
then
true.
this is one of this will be one of the fulfillment of our own platform. So our
Yeah,
platform kind of aligned, but
it does.
it's
It
just that
does.
our own stories are more focused on creativity,
On creativity, tech,
innovation,
innovation.
and technology. Yes,
All right.
and technology. So I mean, leaving that, one of the challenges platforms like ours have is or maybe like team is always the sustainment of the creative energy.
Yeah.
While managing the operation side of platforms like this. So how have you been able to sustain that creative energy?
You just have to keep going day after day after day, right? But one of the things that I would say has also helped me is I don't do it alone, right? I have someone that assists me. I consider him a partner. So I did South Africa for maybe 3 years, 4 years, maybe 3 years down the line. Then someone messaged me from Nigeria, a very good Pelumi. He just messaged me and he told me that, oh, he's someone who really follows the things that I do. He's much passionate about the work that I'm doing at South Africa, and he wants to help me with what I'm doing. So I gave him the opportunity, and we're working together since then. So times when I feel like I've run out of juice, right? Maybe, or I've hit a writer's block, I run out of juice. I realize that I'm able to fall on him because he keeps the platform going until I'm able to rejuvenate that creative energy again and then come back. So having help is important. If possible, don't try to do everything on your own because if something should happen, if you should experience some level of burnout or anything, you're really going to suffer. And we are humans. You're not always going to feel that high energy all the time, 100% of the time. There are going to be times that are going to be low times for you. So if you have somebody who can help you, you have some form of a team, a core team. It doesn't have to be too many people, maybe two, three people that form a core team. Then you guys can be able to keep the wheels running. So I would say I had help, and that is what has helped maintain the platform from 2018 up until this time.
But I believe that you also must have faced a lot of challenges. So what have been the
Yes.
challenges that you faced managing the platform?
So many challenges. Okay, number one.
We want to know. Yeah.
Okay, so when I started, right, I wanted to be unique. I didn't want to do what everybody is doing. I could have easily done entertainment, cheap comedy, that kind of thing. That people want to relieve stress. So people are looking for cheap entertainment. But I decided to provide value, provide something that is informative, something that is insightful, something that is touching and transformational. And I was not getting the level of traction and engagement that I wanted at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And that nearly discouraged me because I felt like, no, I think I'm doing good work because I'm putting a lot of work. My blood, sweat, and tears is in what I'm doing, and I'm not getting the level of
Engagement.
the feedback I'm getting is not commensurate to the value that I think I'm putting out there. So it was really discouraging. But I decided to keep grinding, and there were times when people just want to rubbish you. Africans, I don't know, but a lot of Africans have a certain mentality where they want to pull you down in a way. So when I started a platform, that's one of the things I did. I hid myself for a very long time, working behind the scenes so that the work will speak for itself. Because I didn't want to put myself out there for people to say, "Oh, look at this small boy right, who is running South
Small.
Africa." Yeah. So, if they see that okay, this is a small boy, it's just a guy like me, they tend to there's a way they begin to see the brand. So I decided
Yeah.
that the brand should speak for itself so that I can put myself in the work in the shadows. But I realized a lot of people try to rubbish the work that you are doing. There's a quote by one wise man. He said, "Oh, you realize that when you are fighting for Africans, you have to fight for them with one hand and then also fight them off with the other hand."
With
You know,
yes, yes.
yeah. So that's one of the challenges. People were not really supportive, but I would say that most of my supporters have actually come from Nigeria. Honestly, most of my supporters have come from Nigeria. When I look at the insights, the statistics, maybe one third of my followers are from Nigeria. Yeah, because 300,000 followers, 100,000 of them are from Nigeria. Then the next is
Wow.
the US, then the UK, before even Ghana, then South Africa, Ethiopia, then it goes on and on and on. You see. So I had to really fight through the fact that I am not being received at the very beginning and still know that okay, I'm putting value out there. I have to keep putting value out there, irrespective of the feedback that I'm getting. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, I had a lot of challenges with Facebook, the platform itself, because honestly, I should have hit more than 1 million followers by now, but my page keeps getting banned, keeps getting shadow banned, keeps getting restricted. My page has been restricted on Facebook for more than 4 years, 5 years. Yeah, because Facebook come back and say he posted this content. And that time I was very when I started South Africa in 20s, I was a very passionate young man filled with youthful exuberance. So I was not really measured in the kind of things that I was doing. So I was going all out. So I talk about slavery, I talk about racism, I talk about oppression, I talk about this, I talk about that. And Facebook's platform censors those kind of contents,
Those
right?
contents.
So at the beginning they were not censoring, but when they began to censor, they went to my earlier post and began censoring from my earlier post. So they'll
Wow.
give you the first strike, give you the second strike, then the third strike, then they will restrict your page. So it keeps happening. So they'll unban the page, then their algorithm will discover some other posts that I did, then they'll ban it, restrict it. So that has been the story
That's a lot.
up and down, restrictions upon restrictions. That to block my ad account. A lot of I had to go through a lot with Facebook, a lot that I'm still fighting up until today. That's the second challenge. The third challenge is that my Facebook page actually got hacked 2 years ago. I got hacked, and for 3 weeks, I didn't get a page back for 3 weeks, and I lost 10,000 followers in 3 weeks. Yes. So somebody hacked the page, and then they started posting kind of like nude content and nude
Oh, really?
stuff on the page on
Really?
the stories. So actually, my account got not just the Facebook page, my device or whatever got hacked. They hacked my Facebook, hacked my LinkedIn, hacked my Instagram, hacked my Spotify,
Wow.
hacked everything that could be hacked. They hacked. So they had control of all my accounts on
Every account.
Twitter, everything, every account they hacked it. TikTok. So emails, they hacked my emails. So they started posting inappropriate content on my Facebook page, and people started unfollowing. So I lost 10,000 followers in 3 weeks.
What?
And then I started getting emails all over the world. That is when I knew that people actually follow South Africa. At that point,
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't think people were really watching, but that is when I knew because I started receiving emails from all over the world. You can imagine from every corner of the world, and people started sending me emails. They are disappointed in me, the kind of content I post. They follow South Africa with their family, their children follow South Africa, and what am I posting? And
But
I'm wondering that so nobody is really sitting down to think that this is not me and something
this
is
is
wrong.
not you. Yeah.
Only few people emailed me and said, "Oh, they think I've been hacked. Something is going on with my Facebook page, and they want me to attend to it." But in the meantime, they'll be unfollowing until they see some
In the
progress.
meantime.
Hey, I lost 10,000. And the funny thing is,
Wow,
you
that's a
can
lot.
receive the emails, but you can't reply. So if you reply, it doesn't go through.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing the emails, but I can't even defend myself. So
Ooh.
that's what happened, and
So
I lost
how did
10,000
you
followers.
retrieve your
Yeah,
account?
so I had to now follow up with Facebook, and they had to make me submit some documents, submit a letter, a report. I had to go through a whole process before I was able to get the account back. So these are some of the setbacks that personally I would say I have faced in these few years of running to Africa. And
Mm.
sometimes I wonder why, why me? Why must I go through all these problems? Because the person who hacked me started sending me emails, started saying that if I want to get my account back, I have to pay some money, trying to extort money from me. But
You don't mean
I
it.
never, yeah, they sent me emails threatening me a lot of things, a lot of threatening me a lot of times. Every single time, every 5 minutes, they're sending me emails threatening me. But by God's grace, I want to get all my accounts back, retrieve all my accounts. And there's a saying that heavy lies the head that wears the crown. So
Yes.
if you're not building anything of value,
Of
if you're
value.
not building
Yes.
anything that is weighty, then you don't expect some level of attacks. No, you shouldn't.
Yes.
But
Yes.
the heavier the thing you are building, the heavier the attacks that you are going to
Yeah.
experience. So it
Yes.
doesn't matter that you have a good heart. It doesn't matter that you are doing something to help people. It doesn't matter. There are unscrupulous, wicked, and unreasonable men who want to tear you down, who want to
Yes.
drag you down. So that's what happened. So
Uh,
I had to fight so many battles. Like the algorithm of Facebook is beating me left, right, center. People are hacking me, and even then, some of the followers are not being supported. Some are unfollowing and all that. But in the midst of it all, you have to keep pushing. You have to keep going.
yeah.
You can't give excuses. You cannot give excuses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the major areas that also would love you to, highlight as part of the challenge. I know it will be a challenge. I know is the funding part. How are you able to
Okay.
sustain it with
Okay.
with?
So
I mean, because you need to at least domain is there,
yeah,
maintenance of it, even
yeah,
content creation, all of that. How are you
yeah.
even the infrastructures? How are you able to navigate all of that?
Everything is from my pocket. Honestly, every single thing is from my pocket. No help.
Did you get to generate any income from it?
So that's the challenge because of the Facebook issues with Facebook algorithm. Facebook actually blocked my. They've actually blocked my ad account they've blocked it forever up until today. So I'm not able to.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've not been able to generate any income as it stands now from the platform yet. So I remember I had to put a lot of money into the platform, and my family, my friends, everybody was like, Richmond, why are you wasting your time? You're putting so much time into this thing, but it's not in quotes, it's not paying you. We are not seeing the fruits of your labor. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I'm doing it for the long term. So I know that it's not fetching me the money now, but I know that eventually something good will come out of it. So people around me didn't understand why I gave it so much time, committed my financial resources and everything into it, and they're not really seeing the the fruits of it in terms of financial fruits yet. But there's something I believe in. The kind of work that I am doing at Tales of Africa, eventually, what will happen is that the people who truly connect with your work will align. And when they
Yeah,
align,
yeah,
there's going to be some form of
yeah,
partnerships that will come and some projects that will come from it. That's actually going to earn you much more than you doing some cheap comedy that's fetching you some
I
small coins
agree.
because of the traffic that is coming in. But let me
I
also
agree.
go ahead of myself a bit here. Even though I would say I have not maybe directly made money from the platform in terms of maybe traffic that is being converted into money, I've had some form of partnerships that has also brought me some form of money. Like I got in touch with my mentor, Andrew Charles from the UK. He reached out to me. We did some partnerships, and I made some decent money from that. We worked on some documentaries together and all that. I made some money from it. So I've only gotten sponsorship once for Tales Africa, and that was from a platform called Africa No Filter.
Oh yeah, I
So
saw
that
that. Yeah.
yeah, so what they do is that they give grants to African creatives. Yeah, so they gave me $1,000 grant. So that was the one and only time that I would say I got some form of financial aid for the work that I'm doing at South Africa. And through the grants, they also sponsored me. They flew me to Kenya for a summit with I think 100 other African creators. They brought all of us together for a summit in Kenya. But the other opportunities that have come for me because of South Africa gave me the opportunity to go to Egypt for the World Youth Forum and other opportunities that may not necessarily be monetary in value. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes. So these are some of the things. If you're somebody who is not thinking long term, you easily get discouraged because many people enter into content creation because they think that content creation is a very hot field. So if I enter into content
Yeah.
creation within 6 months, I should be making money. It's possible though, but you should also look at there are nuances. You should also look at what kind of content actually are you producing. If you are producing
Yeah.
content that are transformational, that will bear long lasting fruits, then you have to be patient. You have to be patient. If you're not, it's not if it's not comedy you are doing that 10,000 people just see the video and
Entertainment
laugh.
sales.
Yeah, exactly. If it's not entertainment you are doing, then you shouldn't be in a hurry to make money in a few months. You have to think long term.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to think long term. So I put my personal money into South Africa. Everything, the websites, the pages, the podcasting, the equipment for the podcasting, every single thing was from my pocket. Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot to unpack. First
And
of all, I
and
actually would love
so
to. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you. You want to say something?
so I was even saying that
I'm listening.
so
Yeah.
because most of it was coming from my pocket, I wanted to expand the team, right? So I realized that actually it can't expand the team if you're not kind of incentivizing. I don't know what that word is. If you're not giving them something
Incentivizing. Yeah, incentivizing.
exactly,
Whatever.
exactly to
Whatever.
motivate them for the way they are doing exactly.
Yeah.
Because there was a time that I even had Tales of Africa correspondents. I had people from, I think I had 5 people. I had one person from Nigeria. I had one from Kenya, one from South Africa, one from Botswana, and Namibia. I think who I brought on board as correspondents. So what they do is that they contribute articles about their home countries to the Tales of Africa blog. You see, so that kind of thing. And there were some of them that I had wanted to bring on, kind of like a full time thing. And sometimes the money that they were calling, I realized that I can't do that now. And there were times I've actually tried employing people like maybe like a part time thing, and then give them some money. And I got people. So there was a time that I wanted to bring people on board to kind of employ them maybe part time, work for me part time, and then I'll give them something at the end of the month. So I had an amount in mind that I was willing to give them. I told them this is the amount I'm willing to give you, and they agreed. But I realized that because the amount was low, it also affected the quality of work that they were giving me. Do you understand? So if you want a certain level of quality, then you should also be willing to invest in a very commensurate manner. So that's one of the challenges that I've had in terms of the funding. That uh, I'm not able to I'm not able to push it the way I want to push it because of certain financial constraints. So
But
that's
let's
what I say.
let's assume that you have funding on your table. What would Taste of Africa be like?
Oh. if I have funding on my
If
table
funding
right
is
now,
not an issue, if funding is not an
yeah.
issue,
So I would want to create a system where things run on its own. First, I'll get an operations manager. I'll get a team of writers, and then there's a certain. I want to also start like a film company, like a documentary film company, right? Where we'll enter into, we'll actually do documentaries on whole communities, on societies, on people, the things that people are building. We'll come around and they will film a whole documentary, not just telling the story, but we want to come in and film exactly what you're doing, the documentary, the process, what goes into it. So these are things that I really want to do, but yeah,
wow.
it's all depending.
Well, I've been seeing. I know that you've been doing documentary in recent time. I saw a couple of your. I saw a picture, your picture on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I
Yeah.
think you at the point you were with an estate, real estate. You do real estate,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've worked in a real
Yeah,
estate field for some number of years. Yeah.
for some time. So I
Yeah.
mean, managing this platform now would, with a lot of challenges, with the stress, there comes with the emotional part of it. That mental state where you are exhausted, there's fatigue, but yet you have this dream, you have this passion, you have the drive, you want to work, but your body says no. How are you able to navigate those moments?
You know, it's not an excuse, honestly. Your body says no, but you have to keep pushing because you have a dream that you must attain. There are certain times that I have to even sneak and do it alongside my. But the good thing for me is most of the time, the kind of jobs I've done, most of them are flexible jobs. Some of them I work from home and all that. So if I'm able to finish what I'm doing on time, I quickly go and then attend to Tales of Africa. So it's not an excuse. You have to keep going. Because I remember some years ago, even before I started Tales of Africa, I went to see one of the most renowned journalists in Ghana, yes, Emmanuel Dugbevi. I went to his office to see him about something. And then he's a journalist, and he was telling me that he doesn't he doesn't give himself excuses, right?
Hmm.
He's always on the grind. And he even told me that there was one time that he was in hospital, he was sick on a hospital bed. He still opened his laptop and was still working from the
Wow.
hospital bed. Yeah, there's no excuse. You don't have to give yourself excuses. You have to keep the work going, whether you like it or not. On Facebook, when I started posting on Facebook, I post every single day. I post about 4 or 5 posts every single day when I started. And at a point, I started adding a hashtag to it. So when I make a post, I add a hashtag to South Africa to it. And then a time came when I check the hashtag, when I'm doing the hashtag will tell you how many posts you've made with that hashtag.
Yeah,
And that's at
yeah,
2, 3 years ago. It was telling me I had made about 15,000 posts with the hashtag. And I started doing posts way before the hashtag, about 5,000 posts before the hashtag. So right now, I can say that I've made about 25,000 posts on Facebook or maybe 30,000 posts.
with that
So
hashtag.
if, no, no, I mean, overall, all the posts I made on
Okay,
Facebook will be about
overall, yeah.
30,000, you see. So my point is you have to be consistent. So somebody will say, okay, you have 300,000 followers. Oh, it's easy. I can also get 300,000 followers. If Richmond has done it, I can also do it. But what they don't know is that I have made 30,000 posts on Facebook. So are they also willing to put in that same level of commitment to say that, you know what, I am going to be extremely consistent with,
Yeah,
with posting on Facebook. And I want to also make about 30,000 posts in 5 years. If you have measurable goals, then you can work at achieving them. Do you understand?
yeah,
So I know that I have to make posts. So I always make sure I do it, rain or shine. Sometimes I have to schedule the post. If I think today I'll be too busy, you schedule the post in advance. You have a lot of tools to use to schedule. You have Buffer and you have a lot of tools that you can use to schedule your posts. So you just schedule the post ahead of time and then you do it. So you don't give yourself excuses. And sometimes you have to also go through hard training. For example,
yeah.
I worked as a real estate editor, right? Legit.ng.
I know
Legit.
legitimate. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
know
I worked for
legitimate.
Legit sister company in Ghana called yen.com.
Okay,
Where I've heard of
okay,
yen.com. Yeah, that's their sister company. And as a real estate editor, I have to produce 5 articles every single day on real estate. I don't have an excuse. And it's a lot of work. I'm telling you, it's not just about writing just articles. It's a lot of work because every article must meet a certain criteria
yeah,
and they will check it. And you have to make 5 of those posts every single day. Articles, long articles, 5 of them every single day, in addition to a lot of other responsibilities. And you have to do it and there are no excuses. So if you can do it for another man, then you have to go to do it for yourself.
do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So that one, and I like I also said at the beginning,
Yeah,
yeah, the team is also important. So there are times when my friend Pelumi, I've made Pelumi step in for me. At times when I think Pelumi, I think that I'll not be around. I think that you should step in and do this and this and this. And he has been able to take over and cover very beautifully for me.
I'm covering. I actually see that it seems he's been the one posting on Facebook because at the
He's been the
moment,
one for some time now.
yeah, because
Exactly.
you
How
know
do
what
you
I'm
know?
saying.
How do you know?
Come on, come on. I told you I dig.
I see. He's been the one posting for maybe at least the last 1 year or so, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
For the
I
last
see
1 year.
that. I see it because the
Yeah.
platform at the moment, I want to ask one of my question is, the main platform, which is the website, is not been running for a while. I
Yeah,
think the last
yeah, yeah,
time we
honestly.
posted, maybe like last year. What
It's
happened?
been a long time,
What's
yes.
happening? What's
Yeah,
happening?
so actually I'm working on it. So a lot of other responsibilities have come to kind of clash. So I'm looking at
I mean, yeah,
revamping not just the website. I'm looking at actually revamping South Africa in a certain way. That's why because I run the website solely. So
yeah.
Pelumi helps me with the Facebook and all that. So that's how come you've seen that activities on the website have slowed down a bit. So I'm now trying to revamp it in a certain way. Yes.
So tell us in which certain ways. I'm kind of interested. Like, what are the areas are you hoping to expand story wise? And yes, let's hear
Okay, so yeah,
because
so
we're interested in it.
yeah, so I want to go more into documentary making now, right?
Okay.
I will still do stories, I'll still tell stories in terms of articles or blog posts.
Yeah.
But I want to now enter into filmmaking, enter into that documentary filmmaking. So that's something that I'm really passionate about that I also want to explore. It also affects the kind of things that we post on social media now because I don't want to be doing, let me use the word reported speech. Like, okay, so something is happening here, another platform has posted it, they go and pick it from the platform and come and post. No. I want to now post authentic things that I'm posting on the platform
Content.
are things
Yeah.
that I myself have genuinely content I have
Created.
created myself. Let me put it that way. So that's where I want to get to now. The content should be content I myself have created, not content that anybody else has created.
That's
Because
created.
even when it comes to Facebook monetization with the reels, one criteria for the reels is that it must be content that you have created yourself,
Yes.
right? Because I have, if it comes to reels, oh my Facebook reels, I have reels that have 2 million views, 5 million views, 1 million views, 3 million views, but they are not my original content. So I can't monetize them. You see. I
Oh,
can't
that's
monetize
true.
them. So yes, I have to create content, my own content, and if anything at all, other people should pick from because I've also done stories, original stories that have trended.
Okay.
Original stories from me. I'm the first person to break the news, and other people have picked the story. Other, you see it on Legit, you see it everywhere, you see it all over the place, and it all stems from me being the originator of that story. So that's what I want to get to now, where the initial plan, the Tales of Africa vision, initial vision is telling stories, you breaking people out. That is what I want to do now, not
Yeah.
necessarily reporting what other platforms have done, or somebody has going to do their story and then
Well, so how are you hoping to go about it? Because as it is now, it will take a lot of funding.
it will.
Because mobility, logistics,
Exactly.
equipment, everything wise, it will take a lot of money. And you're in Ghana, you want to tell stories across the continent. So how are you hoping to go about this? Are you exploring? Would you be exploring maybe partnerships,
Yes, yes, yes.
different or maybe some localized contracts and commissioning for people to also create stories that, of course, will be on the Tales of African brand. So how are you hoping to navigate this?
Yes, so I'm looking at two things. That's a very good question. I'm looking at partnerships and I'm also looking at funding. Right. So I'm now trying to secure funding to be able to do that. And I remember when I went to Kenya for the Africa No Filter Summit, I met with some people from other African countries. I took their contacts, and we've been talking about how we can work on some projects together. So I'm looking at partnerships, and then I'm also looking at funding. These are two things that I'm looking at
Excellent.
for now. Yes.
I think that's great. Maybe I mean we have conversation around partnership. It's something that
Yeah.
yeah, we would definitely have a conversation around partnership. It's something that we can come in from the angle of innovation, right?
Yeah.
Innovation, technology, and because these are very important. It's so important to for us to spotlight. I'll give you an like a backstory. One of the insights and one of the reasons that I started this project, right, is that fortunately I was at the World Expo in Dubai,
Okay.
the one
Okay.
hosted in Dubai. That was 2021, 2022, and
Yeah.
I visited all the pavilions.
Wow.
All the 192 countries came to that place to exhibit their innovation and technologies. I visited all the pavilions. I documented almost all of the things that they had on exhibition, and I had an interview with Channels TV, and one of the things I spoke was the fact that for African countries, we didn't really get to showcase innovation. We dealt more of, we exhibited more of the cultures and the arts, right? So I thought, that, but there are people building. They might not have the funding now, but
Yeah.
they are
Yeah.
building to solve local solutions. You know, they are
Yeah.
building stuff that addresses local solutions. So that's one of the that's one of the inspiration behind, building this platform. You know what? It's a global storytelling platform, but we want to focus on the creativity, technology, and innovation. And we're at the point now that we want to start to spotlight young African innovators. It's global, right? But we want to start from telling the story of global innovators. Okay, yesterday I had was it yesterday, 2 days ago, I had an interview with this tech guy uh, in uh, in Sierra Leone.
Okay.
He's building without a playbook, right?
Wow.
And these are the stories. I
Yes,
mean, for
exactly.
us
That
in
needs to be
Nigeria,
told. Yeah.
yes, these are stories that needs to be told, and this is something that also aligns with the tales of Africa.
Yeah. So I think I agree with you when you said there's been a lot of stories around maybe culture, traditions, and African heritage. But it's about time, especially when it comes to where we are as a critical point in the
Yes,
development of things like maybe AI,
yes,
machine learning, and stuff. It's important that we also tell the
yes,
stories of young Africans who are innovators, who are doing amazing things in the area of innovation. I think that's a really good point that you
yes.
raised. And I've actually had quite a few of them on the Tales of Africa platform. And I'm also trying to fish out much more African the young African innovators. So that this young boy from Ghana is, I think he was 17 years or 18, I think 17 at the time that I interviewed him. Yes, he's called Frederick Abila.
Hold on, I saw a story yesterday on Tech Pali Africa. Is it? Yeah,
Tech Kabal,
Tech
yes,
Pali
yes,
Africa.
also on Tech
Also on Tech
Kabal
Pali. Okay, yeah.
and Tech Bali,
My
yes,
friend owns Tech Pali.
yes. But I was actually the
Yeah,
first
it's
person.
interesting. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So the
I
first
need to
person
bring him on
actually
board to have
broke his
conversation
story
with
out.
him.
You should. So what happened was, just like me, just like me, he started was like, why should people in the West be the ones to build all the huge social media platforms, right? And the interesting thing is they decide what to do. For example, Facebook decides to ban my platform or restrict my page because I'm talking about racism, I'm talking about slavery, oppression. These are things they don't want to hear. So they are not friendly to. It's not an African friendly platform, if I can put it that way. So he realized that it's about time we Africans built platforms for Africans where we will not be censored. So he went out at 17 years. He went online, learned how to code on his own, and then he now built a platform called Bass Chat to rival
Facebook.
Facebook, to rival Twitter, and then Instagram. So he combined. So he kind of built a platform just like that to rival them. And I'm actually on that platform, and it's an amazing platform. Today, he has thousands. I think the time I joined when he built it, he had about 5,000 users on that site from all over the world. 17-year-old boy. And at the time, he was looking for who to tell the story. He tried pitching the story to nobody gave him a hearing ear. So he reached out to me. I was like, you know what? I'll tell your story. I'll tell it. So I told the story. I wrote an article about it, and then I also had him on my podcast. And then I was working at yen.com then. That's legit sister company. They had even a
Yes,
bigger platform. And then we broke the story there too, right? So that was how he kind of now started coming into the limelight. So when I did the podcast interview with him, I remember one of the news platforms in Ghana, Ghana Web took the story, they ran with the story, and then they had the Ghana Web Excellence Award, and he won that award for the innovator category, young innovator category. He won that award, you see. And then from there, it has just been an upward
from
rise for
there.
him up onto Tech Cabal and your
Yeah.
friends platform. They've all featured him. Yeah, so that's one story. I featured Lumelo Nyaluza from South Africa, also building social media platform. I think he even had funding and all that, 1 million, I don't know, rand funding or something. He built a very, very solid platform. I was also on that platform too. I saw the platform. It combines all the features of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter into one solid platform. And he built that platform. I had him on the. So I actually interviewed him twice. I interviewed him the first time, and I think 2 years down the line, I also interviewed him again for an update on how far he has come with the yes. And then the third one, I also interviewed Ephraim. Ephraim from Ghana who who built, I think, a software that can check people's health or something, their
Wow.
heart, and then if they're going to have a heart attack and that kind of thing. Built it. Yeah, an amazing guy. I interviewed him. I also interviewed one guy from Tanzania. I've forgotten his name now. This is so many years ago. Who built Africa's first stainless steel stove or something. So I've interviewed so many people that I've actually lost count, but I've had a number of innovators on the platform. And that guy from Tanzania has won so many awards all over the world, and he's doing amazing things. So I've interviewed people that are all under the age of 30 years. All of them were under the age of maybe 20,
Wow.
28. Yes, when I interviewed them. And they were doing amazing things. Some of them even had global recognition at that time. And some of them had just started. And then I had to also push them for them to also come into the limelight. So innovation is very important, and telling stories of young innovators to also encourage others who are now on the journey to see that it
Yes,
is
yes,
possible.
yes. Actually,
Yeah.
yes. I would really love to bring some of these people, and then maybe people in Ghana that that
Okay.
are building, something
Okay.
that is worth being spotlighted. So you can have conversation with them. I would
All
like
right.
to bring them on this platform to have conversation.
Even Bill, yes, I even interviewed one guy from Ghana. He was asked at the time I interviewed him. He was a student at the academic city university. I think he built an electric bike or something. He built something
Innovative.
innovative around electric bike or something. So I went to his campus, interviewed him on his campus. We did a video how he was building the whole thing. I actually tested the bike myself. Rode the bike to test how it works. It has GS and all that electric bike. Amazing, amazing people, amazing young people doing
Yeah, we really
amazing
need
things.
to, with
Yeah,
how we are building platform, we really need to tell these stories. We need to, for the world to see that
yeah,
it's not always about the bad rep that we have. We are also doing something amazing
yeah, exactly.
in the continent.
They are doing great,
We
great,
need to
great
tell that
things. Yeah,
tell that stories. I mean, that now brings me to the impact stories, the impact of your platform. I believe that through your platform, a lot of people, have gained visibility. Then a lot of people too,
yeah,
their mindset have been changed about the African continent. So, would you mind sharing maybe a couple
yeah.
of these impact stories with us?
Okay, so one of them is sometimes I receive emails from people from all over the world just encouraging me that they they love what I'm doing and they want to encourage me to keep going. I even Instagram, one guy sent a message on Instagram and he said that he doesn't know why I don't have the numbers on Instagram yet, but he wants to just tell me that I'm doing a good work and I should keep doing what I'm doing, And one lady messaged me from UK and then she was like, she just wants to send me some pounds because of the good work that I'm doing. Yeah, she just wants to bless me. And when it comes to Facebook reach, at my all-time high, I had my posts were 38 million
Wow,
post reach every month, organic.
wow,
38 million post reach every month, organic. Yeah, so we realized that the reach was a lot. People were really interested in the things that we are doing. People are interested in the things that we are doing. There was this guy who is an orphan who reached out to us in our DMs on Facebook. He said, "Oh, he's an orphan and he goes to orphanages to give children free haircuts." So he wanted us to tell the story. So we published the story. We did it. We put it on Facebook. We mentioned his name. Meet this guy. He's an orphan, but now he gives back to society by going to orphanages and giving children free haircuts. That story went viral. Legit even picked up that story. They did the story. Story went viral. And then I think an NGO from the UK contacted him and they began to sponsor him. You know. So these are some of the stories. Also with the Frederick Kabila story, I interviewed him, and then from that story, he had the Ghana Excellence Awards and other opportunities have come for him through that. So these are some of the little things that I can say I have done that have really gone far. So there's a wise man once said that you can do
oh
great things from a
yes,
small place.
yes. Today on Akoya,
Tunde
yes,
Onakoya, the
yes,
test in slums, yes, you can do great things from a small place. It's just something. All that it took for me was to just start a Facebook page. That was 2018. I just created a Facebook page, just there to just the little I know, just there to share it and to they look at the kind of impact that it has made. So people have reached out all over the world, and these are things that when I hear, it excites me and it shows me that okay, I'm on the right path, and in future we will still do even much more than we're doing right
all right. So, wow. I believe that you can't really. We don't even have the time for you to even tell all of the impact stories, the impact of your. That's one thing that is sure. But there are so many people. I mean, you can only tell about people that reached out to you. What about people that did not
now.
reach
That
out to
reached
you?
out to me exactly.
That
That didn't
impacted maybe
exactly.
just one story that you posted
Yeah,
changed the course of their life
yeah,
or their mindset
yeah,
mindset shift
exactly,
in the way they think about the continent, in
exactly.
the stories they've heard about that.
Yeah.
So there will be millions of that you
Mm,
might not even get. I mean, if I
because
did, if you have not
yeah,
started the platform, we won't be having this conversation. It is because you have something that you
no,
put out there that, yeah,
exactly. Because see, people reach out to me, and sometimes when I post about someone doing, maybe I post about, oh, this guy has built a bicycle from
yeah,
bamboo, that kind of thing. I post those kind of things, and people, my emails will be flooded. People want the contact number.
yeah,
How can they get a bamboo bike? So people reach out to me. That I've had emails from refugees who want me to help them. So sometimes even the emails I get scared
it's
because it's
beyond their
beyond my
capacity. Yeah,
it's even beyond their capacity. But because of the work you are doing, people also place a certain value on you,
yeah,
right? And they think that in a certain position. Because when there was war in Ethiopia, I think Ethiopians and the is it Tigray, one of the
yeah,
regions,
yeah.
they had a
Tigray, yeah,
Tigray.
Tigray,
They, I had my emails were flooded. People from Tigray wanting me to come and help and reach out and tell their stories. And so sometimes it's like that. You don't know the
yeah,
impact
that you're
that
making.
you are making, but you are making. See, one time I wrote a story about. I wrote about five African American ladies who who were innovators, something like that. I think
Yeah,
that story. And then when I read the story and published it, I got an email from someone who said that one of the ladies I wrote about was not actually the first. She was the second person, not the first. And this lady, when I checked her out, she was like the the dean of the law faculty, one of the top law universities in the US, and she was the dean in that
okay,
at that faculty. She was a
yeah,
big woman. So what that means is that she read the story, and then she sent me an email to make a correction or an edit
yeah,
on the story. So it made me see that okay, this story that I'm doing is actually going places that I didn't know they will go to. The quality of people who are reading it are much more than I can even comprehend. Because sometimes you can get discouraged. You can write a story and you check and the story has been read by maybe only 100 people.
So I just want to ask, bring you a bit,
Okay.
take you a bit emotional, to be a bit emotional, right? When you look at the gravity of the things that you've been able to achieve over the years, the impact that you've made in the continent and across the beyond, like how does this impact get to you personally?
Okay, it's
How do you always feel? Do you feel like a sense of fulfillment?
okay. It's actually a really humbling experience for me, right? Because I remember when I actually started. I remember where I was sitting when I started. I was in the office and I had a female work colleague sitting by me. Then I told her that this is what I want to do. I want to start something. So why don't you just start right now? So I just opened Facebook and I created a Facebook page on a whim. So when I started, I didn't really, even though I had a plan and a vision in mind, I didn't really see it unfold the way that it unfolded. And the whole journey, even with the struggles and everything, has really been humbling for me. And I'm proud of myself for the things that I've achieved, even though I know that there's still a lot more work to do. Yes. It tells me that, like I said,
Yeah, we are all proud of you.
from a small place, it doesn't matter where you are. I said I did South Africa from my
Small
from
place.
with just an internet connection and then my phone. That's it. And a podcast, I did it from my bedroom. I was doing podcast from my bedroom, and the impact was felt globally. I have 100,000 Nigerians following me on Facebook,
Wow.
followed by Americans, followed by UK, Ghana, there's Kenya, there's South Africa, there's Ethiopia, there's Australia, there's even Suriname, there's Papua New Guinea. And I'm like, where are all these people finding me? All this from my bedroom somewhere in Ghana, you see. And I'm like, see, somewhere in Ghana, oh, it tells you
Somewhere
that
in
if you
Ghana.
put your mind to the thing and you apply a certain level of diligence and consistency, the kind of results that you achieve,
Yeah.
it will blow your mind. One of the first people I interviewed on my podcast
Yeah.
was an independent presidential candidate in Ghana. Yes, like independent presidential candidate. I just reached out to him on Facebook and I was like, I want to have you on my podcast. I didn't have a track record then.
Yeah.
I hadn't interviewed anybody before him. I think the only person I interviewed before him was my sister. So I interviewed my sister, and because I had to set the ball rolling, I wanted to build confidence. So first interviewed my sister. She's the very first person I interviewed. And then my very good friend, like my
Yeah.
good friend
Yeah.
from work. So after these two, I was like, I can't continue doing friends and family. I have to go out there. Then I reached out to the independent president candidate. I dreamt it big, but he responded, and then he did it. And then from there, I started going. Did David Hundeyin too? David Hundeyin from Nigeria, the journalist, Nigerian investigative journalist.
I know
I
the
did
actor.
David Dukunde,
Yes, yes.
brought him. He's a very good friend of mine.
Wow, that's it's something that I'm actually looking forward to, and everything we can from our own end would love to contribute to that vision, to bring that vision to life. And however we can get to partner, however we can get to contribute to it, we are always here, to support the vision because it's also for the African continent. It's high time we started telling better stories about continent, and then to shine more light into some of the stories that are so important, right? I cannot thank you enough. But before I let you go, we are in the age of artificial intelligence, technology. As a creator, a lot of people use leverage on generative AI now to to create a lot of content, most especially in terms of the output, operational efficiency, and everything. How are you hoping to? I know that you might have been using that in leveraging technology in your own personal work. So how are you hoping to leverage this emerging technology to scale the work that you do?
Yeah, so we are in the age of AI and all that. So it has made my work very easy for me in the sense that when I started, it was more difficult because you have to fish out the stories. You have to go and ask. You have to rely on people giving you recommendations on people. You have to reach out to people. You have to interview. You have to search and comb the whole web, comb social media to find people whose stories are worth telling. But today, with the advent of social media, AI, and all that, you can just use prompts like ChatGPT, just put in a prompt and say, give me 50 young people under the age of maybe 35 years who are doing wonders in the area of maybe technology or innovation or whatever. And it's going to give you the whole list. And all you have to do is to just do your due diligence and then, you know, maybe sift it down to the number that you're looking for, and then you are good to go. So it's easier. It's easier now that you have a lot of technology and that you can be able to capitalize on. So these are things that creatives have to look into. And then also, right now we are in a day and age where you don't have to be physically present to conduct an interview with a person. Right now, you are in another country. I'm also in another country, and we are having this conversation, right? So gone are the days when you have to physically travel to meet the person, sit down with the person, and have this discussion. So now I have platforms like Zencaster, platforms like Riverside, as we are using. These are platforms that allow for you to be able to talk to anybody in any part of the world. Capitalize on the use of technology, capitalize on the use of AI to be able to improve and make your work much more easy. So we creatives, there's a lot of tech out there for us that we can capitalize on to make our work way easier, way easier. So right now, most of them, maybe some of them are free, some of them they cost you a little, but I mean it's there to make your work easy for you. So some of the challenges that we had when we started, you don't have to face those same challenges. You overcome, and you can actually double your productivity. So things that took us 3 years to achieve, 4 years to achieve, you can achieve it in 6 months and in 1 year with AI. For example, if you use a platform like ChatGPT to give you a list of maybe 30 people in the creative space, maybe 30 people who are building something that you want to interview, and it's able to give you the 30 people you are actually looking for, and you reach out to them, you actually saved yourself a whole lot of time and stress. Now going to fish them one by one. So you can have your content ready for the next you have your content ready for the next maybe 1 month or 2 months. You have content that you can schedule for the next 1 or 2 months. You see, but when we started, it wasn't like that. We have to rely on word of mouth. Somebody has to tell us about somebody before we now reach out to the person, or we have to see the person trending somewhere, or we have to reach out. But right now it's way easier. Yeah, so that's what I say.
Well, boss, it's been a good time with you. I cannot thank you enough for coming, for joining me for this conversation, and I enjoyed every bit of it. I must say. Yeah, so it's that's the end of the conversation for today. Another episode meets us on Bubbling 247 podcast. So see you some other time. Thank you.